Welcome back to the single player world, and we are in the new village. Today we are getting some really big stuff done, and I'm very excited to get going on it. Very important stuff, might I add, because this episode is episode 79, and a lot of you know what's coming up. Many of you probably don't, and that is episode 80. Kind of a letdown, right? No, it isn't. It's a big episode because episode 80 is going to be the world tour. So we're going to be touring this whole place, which currently I think is starting to look sort of impressive, like a large scale, large size, and we will be doing a full tour of this area, a full tour of some other places, and more importantly, there's also a world download. So that is something to look forward to, and it's going to be really awesome. And by the way, for people who might not know, YouTube's been going a little bit weird recently, so just make sure you check out any videos put up, because sometimes they don't send you the notification that they say they do. So 2 episodes ago, actually, we had a little issue, and our videos didn't get pushed through. So just keep an eye out for that, because that sometimes does happen. But just, yeah, it's pretty simple to avoid. Now, what I'm doing right now is I just realized that there's a little bit of an issue here with this build. I've built some extra stuff, actually. Probably shouldn't avoid that. We've finished off this building here, well, at least the front face of it. Moved along, done the second part of this so that we can start getting the curve to this market area. So how about we just have a quick walk through here and familiarize ourselves with this place, because it's starting to turn out, every episode I do say it's getting better and better, and honestly, I think it is. And as far as I can tell from people in the stream and from your comments here on YouTube, it seems to be something that we are getting together, and we're getting everything looking really good. So I'm pretty happy about that. So walking in here, we can just see this very bulky, detailed structure in front of us. All these multiple structures connected to one, and that is what's making this area really turn out so good. And then, of course, we've got this piece here where we're going to have all of these marketplaces over here, the little stalls, which I keep getting suggested. And don't worry, we will get ourselves some market stalls, that's for sure. And we'll also be filling in the backs of these buildings before you guys wonder that. Of course, we're filling in the insides. Everything is going to be polished by the end of this. And today, as I say, is a very important episode, because it's really an episode where we're going through everything, at least that I had hoped, or at least close enough to what I had hoped to have done before I give you guys a fully completed world, really. Episode 80 is going to be, well, completed up to episode 80, you know what I mean? Like what I wanted to show you guys at that episode. That's what I'm meaning to say. And I think that is what we're going to do. We're going to try and get as much of this stuff done as possible. And really, it's not going to be any different from any other episode. We're going to be doing stuff that we want to do as much as we can. Pretty much, that's the way it is. So right here, by the way, what I'm looking at, this little piece here, why I've kind of like zoomed in on that and try to check it out. That piece over there, well, sorry, is a little bit of an eyesore. It's very flat. Before that, you would have noticed just all this brown stained clay. Kind of boring, but what we're going to do is we did that piece there, and now I'm going to start making this a little bit more interesting on the sides. Very small stuff that's gone on there, but I think it is definitely looking a lot better than what it was before. And by the way, I don't know why I used ladders there. I just thought I wanted to try something a little bit different. In fact, I was going to try use the ladder to hold up perhaps a little bit of a garden, like a hanging garden or something. But having that garden over there, well, any block below it, just wasn't working quite as well as what I expected it to look. So that was the reason for them. And I thought, you know, let's just leave them there, make it look a little bit different. And now that I come back to look at it, I think it looks all right. So that's what we've got over there. Now, the big change is over here. We've added in this whole new area here as well, in between the last little bit. And that over there is the ship. If you guys aren't familiar with this, well, little boat, not ship. The boat that's being built inside of the shipyard. And if you aren't familiar with it, this is the back entrance to that. And it's been neglected for far too long. And that is this little piece here that's actually been neglected. And that piece there, which I've finished off on. And here's a very cool little thing that I've because of course the comments, by the way, let me just start off by saying the comment section is ridiculously important and really awesome to read through sometimes, and just see what you guys have got in your heads in this area and what I've got in mine, and see what goes on and how we can change things and how we can make this place look amazing together, pretty much. That's the really cool thing about the comments. And there every now and then is a comment that I'm like, why was that like, it seems so obvious. It seems ridiculously obvious, actually. And the one comment that has stuck out to me recently was, What about a logo for the ship company? The ship company is pretty important in the city. It's a very, very important part of the city. In fact, it's a very important part of why the city is wealthy. Not only that, it's also just a very, very prominent piece of the city. And a logo would be pretty cool. Imagine having just a company logo that sits everywhere around the place. Not like this one that we've got over here, which I actually, by the way, there's a cool trick with this. But this one over here that sits around the place, that's the city's flag. That's the flag of this area. But imagine having another banner with perhaps a logo that represented a shipping company, or perhaps something that just looked like a business's logo. Something that made this look very important. And I thought that would be a great idea. And that's just what I mean by, like, sometimes, can I just get up here, please? Here we go. But sometimes that's just what I mean. Like, a comment sticks out and you're like, wow, that is a great comment. And comments like that, I very much appreciate all the constructive comments that we get on the series. In fact, compared to a lot of different things, our Twitch chat, our YouTube comments are just incredible compared to a lot of other channels, which I'm really glad that we do. We've got some really creative people, really positive ideas, and just, it's awesome. So that's the idea with this over here. Get ourselves a logo eventually. We won't be doing that before. Man, if I get any more of these guys around here, yep, okay, go for it. Perfect. But if we won't get that done before the world download, I don't think. But if we do, that'll be great. But if you've got an idea for what we could use for this, you can either let us know, of course, in the comment section, or alternatively just send us one our way, and we can see how we can do it. You know, I can have a look. Preferably something quite simple. So there we go. That's gonna look cool. What I'm thinking of doing is making a really big arch, like a sloped, kind of like that sort of an arch, not a very wide one, well, not a very steep one, if that makes sense. Kind of like an easy little look to that over there. That's what we're gonna go for on this. So if you've got an idea, as I say, that is very cool. I'd love to hear it, and I would love to, if you guys do have one posted in the Discord server, that's really great. Now, before I go further with this, because I'm gonna forget, we are very shortly, in like the next few days, going to be doing a 24-hour live stream, which is a pretty long time. It's a ridiculously long time to be playing computer games straight, but we did promise that a very long time ago, and I am going to now finally get going on a 24-hour live stream. It's actually crazy just to think of how long that is actually going to be. And do I have any of... I swear I'm always making more spruce slabs, but I always seem to go through them all. But that's going to be a pretty fun time. So if you guys aren't following us on Twitch yet, or you don't even know we do live streams on Twitch, we're pretty regular. I think about 4 days. Yeah, definitely 4 days a week. I should know that. 4 days per week, and our schedule is on that page. So if you guys want to check it out, down in the description right now, you can click the link through to our Twitch page and leave a follow, and you'll know when we're live again, because you'll get a notification. Besides that, also just make sure you do have Twitch notifications turned on so you know when we are live. But of course, that's all that, and I'll give you guys a reminder when we get closer to the 24-hour day. And of course, it's just cool when people come in from the channel and say hi. It's really awesome to see you guys over there. We made some pretty decent changes here. I'm pretty happy with what this turned out to look like. Nice and simple, and I think it does look very much like something's been pulled in here. Obviously, when these boats are being built, you're gonna have a lot of stuff coming in this way. In fact, it's just kind of made me think about this right now. Just as we were saying this, I always do that. I don't know why. I've got this habit of putting in whatever I want to put into my offhand in the wrong hand there. So let me just do this here and maybe put some materials that might have even come in through here. I didn't even think that far until just then. That's actually a pretty cool idea. All right, so we'll do that stuff like that. And that should probably look all right. Yeah, that's looking quite well. Well, quite good. And by the way, I mentioned earlier that I've got a pretty cool trick using these things. And the trick is not to use the banners, but the trick is the banners themselves being the trick. And when you look at a build like this, let me show you exactly what I'm talking about. This is like the one tip of the day, I guess. Let's go back here and let me show you what's going on. So looking at this, it looks pretty boring. There's brown, more brown, a little bit of a different color brown, a lighter brown, and then gray, and maybe that white bone block there, which is a very boring look in general. I mean, obviously we've done our thing to make it look interesting with the different levels and stuff and different use of blocks. But really, when you look at that, it's pretty boring when you describe it. And to make it a little bit more interesting and add a bit of color in, these banners have been so useful. So getting something like this, if ever you're looking for something in a build and you're trying to make it look a little bit more interesting, and obviously the greens pop as well quite well, that's a pretty cool thing. You know, you've got the very different contrasted color, very small amount in this big area, and it just makes that area look a lot more lively. Besides that, the banner also shows you that this is a city that's booming. It's got people to put stuff up, hang things around there. It gives a lot of different stuff to it, and I think it's a really cool thing to add in. So that's the tip of the day. Besides that, bushes, leaves, your best friends in Minecraft building, trust me. But that's pretty much what I wanted to do in this area. I don't think there's anything else. Oh, the brand new lamp over there, which we all know and love from all these here. And I mean, look at that. Another example of that, by the way. Now, a few things we needed to get done today. By the way, I said in the beginning of this episode that we are looking to get this area up to scratch with what I wanted to give you guys in the next episode so you can download. And by the way, I can't actually remember right now, unrelated to that, whether or not we did finish up and tell you that where my schedule for my Twitch streaming, and besides that, the 24-hour stream is going to be. So if you go over to the Twitch page, if you've already gone over, you may have figured this out yourself, but you know what? Now you know. I've got an interactive little plugin on my page that tells you exactly when I'm going live. It'll go down to the very level of giving you a countdown to the second when I should be live. So that's a pretty cool thing to look at, and if ever you're in doubt of when is Jansey streaming, you now know. It's pretty easy to find out. Just scroll down to the little, I think it's a bio, I think you'd call it a description, the equivalent of a YouTube description, down below the page, and everything is there for you to know. And can I just do this? I don't want these mobs to come around. Check any creepers. I'm gonna have to make this area a bit more spawn proof. So that's pretty much what I wanted to tell you guys with that. And I'm looking forward to that stream quite a bit. Now, let me just get this in here. And this is pretty important now, as I say, because now that I've got that out of the way, I can carry on. This area here is the... yeah, it's not going to work too well. I'm going to have to... I don't think I can actually do this. I'm going to have to drop this down one more level. This over here is going to be your way to get to this area. And it's an important thing because I've done, I think, one world download. I think it was episode 60 when we did the world download where no one knew how to get to this city. And that is because from the other place, the other city, when you come around here, you got quite a weird way to travel. And what I want to do is I want to make it a bit more simple for anybody traveling into this area to be able to get through the Nether and come and explore this, because it's a few thousand blocks away and we really don't need to travel that far. And it also just makes everyone's life a little bit easier. And overall, it's something that'll come in very, very handy to me. And what I'm doing right now is something that has become a bit of a tradition for me. And I know a lot of people do this as well. And that is to use your surroundings, buildings, things like that, and in a weird way, wrap this into a story with your own Nether portal. And in the first village, if you guys aren't too familiar with that, I've got a little thing that bumps you out of the wall, out of the floor, and it's a completely hidden Nether portal. In the snowy village, we've got a hidden portal behind some maps. I tried to do that one a little bit more interesting. I thought I'd give it a try. It ended up working pretty well, but it was a bit weird by the end of it. And if you're interested in seeing that, of course, we'll download next episode. Go check it out. But in this one here, what I was thinking is, because this city is so dependent on what's going on around it, and besides that, I needed a good excuse to be putting a portal in here on this side of the city. I thought what would be great would be to have this portal in a spot where we would be storing stuff. So something where we wouldn't go through very often. We'd probably just go in here every now and then. But now we'll go in here pretty often because, of course, we've got the portal in here. I'm just going to do that. Hide it a little bit better. There. So we shouldn't see that as much as we could. Perfect. All right. So this portal is going to go through to another spot, which I'm not too sure. Let's just see where it goes. Maybe it'll link up with our current portal. And this is the current portal. But luckily for us, I have prepared. We've got to go to 103, 110. And is that 103 that way? And 110. Have I gone that? I've got to go that far. I've got to go all the way that way. All right. So what we have to do now is, of course, portal linking. And that's a fun time. So I'm going to go ahead, get that done. And we have a portal over here. Now, oh, of course, as we start, that would happen. What I've done is I've made it very obvious where this is. In fact, if you were coming from the spawn area, please, leave me alone. This beautiful diorite enclosed area here to our main village, you'd go out this way and you'd be like, where is this? There we go. That's where it is. Nice and easy. And we can always just go and find it now ourselves if ever we do lose it. So we've got a pretty easy landmark around there. Plus, it's kind of well sheltered from ghasts over here. Eventually, this nether hub's going to be a very, very different place. A very, very big project, but it's going to look very good by the end of it. I guarantee you that. And if you're wondering what it is, it's going to be a cartoon world. So the whole world, well, the whole nether is going to be transformed into its own kind of animated looking world. I mean, of course, this is Minecraft, but it's just going to be very, very, very colorful, very cartoonish. And overall, I think it'll have a really cool look. And this was a very simple little bit of stuff to fix in here. I think I'll just switch a few of these out here just to make things look a little bit more interesting. But there we go. That's pretty simple. In fact, we can go one step further. No, with those. There we go. Very, very simple. And I think this will look quite good. Yeah, very nice. All right, please don't be nighttime. It is not. Fantastic. All right, so that is that done. And also, by the way, this was a suggestion I got the other day over here, which was put some birds or something to create a bit of color in here. Birds, cats, things like that. And I didn't really think that far, but the pigeon idea I did have a few episodes back. And I don't know if this is relating to that, but I think that is such a great idea, adding in something that isn't a block. It's nothing you build with, but it is part of the build. And I've tamed that one there. I've left it up there, and it's actually looking pretty cool just as you walk past. Look at that. Just nice and simple. Something extra. Not really part of the build, but sort of part of the build. So, guys, today I think that will do it for this episode. I wanted to get a lot of stuff done. In fact, besides this, I've also done a few little pieces, and I'm very happy to say that you guys will enjoy walking through this world. If you guys are excited about it, obviously, next episode, that's the big one. That's going to be the tour with shaders, with the world download, with just us enjoying the world for what we're building it for, to walk through it and enjoy it. So thank you so much for watching, guys, and I'll see you in the next one.